You're listening to Polished Woman, only on LA Talk Radio.
Hello, everyone! Yoo-hoo! Another episode, and this time it's gonna be funny! Because I'm with both comedians. Hey!
Hey!
So welcome to Polished Woman, and I'm Jessica Rodriguez-Munovach. When we see celebrities, we see one of two extremes. Either we see them all dressed up on a red carpet, talking about their new projects or vacation looking amazing, or we see them looking terrible, the paparazzi photos of them in a gas station, or something trying not to look famous. Obviously, there's more to being a celebrity and life in Hollywood than that. Being a celebrity, or just trying to be a celebrity in this country is very confusing, trust me. I modeled and acted when I lived in the Philippines, in my country, and coming here, I remember wanting to do the same. And I get all dressed up and go to auditions, and the girls would be there would be in their ponytails or, not flip-flops, but sneakers and yoga pants. And there I am with my makeup and my high heels. I felt like I was out of place. And looking back then there was nothing wrong with that. They were just wearing whatever they're comfortable with. But if they got famous, I don't think they'd want everyone to see them like that and all the time. So it's interesting, the image that people project once you make it versus when you get there. So to help me explain more of those, I invited, of course, the very beautiful, the very talented Rolonda Watts.
Hello.
Yay. And on my left
I'm so
side-
honored to be here. Really am. I really am. You know I love you. You know I love you.
I'm very flattered when you said yes. Oh my gosh, Rolonda Watts is coming to my show. I'm so happy. And of course, I remembered, okay, who can be there and and help us, make this a little bit more fun. And of course, here Andrea Carlisle. She's also a comedian, and she wants to know and get advice from Rolonda because she's starting her career as well, right? As a comedian. And Rolonda, you're doing a lot. You did a lot, right? From acting to voiceover to her book, by the way, is amazing.
Destiny lingers.
It's destiny.
Destiny.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us how did you do all of this? I mean, how did you start in the show business?
Oh my gosh. I think that what you do when you're in showbiz, it's just kind of like taps on stuff that you are naturally.
Yeah.
I think that whether it's being a news reporter or it's being a talk show host or a comedian or an author, it's all storytelling.
Yeah.
And I think that's the fabric of our lives, really. At the end of the day, that's all we have are our stories. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to find stories that motivated people, that made people move, that made people laugh. And if I could tell a story that could make you do all that and still change a life, then I'm on the right path. So I think my real passion is storytelling, and that's and I think that just my education and just my drive and the things I wanted to do is what drove me to where I am.
But did you, amongst all the things that you've done, what is the one that you're really passionate about? Was it the being a broadcaster, or really more of being a writer, an author, or being a comedian?
It's kind of like when you ask a mom, you've got 5 kids, which is your favorite?
But
there really is one.
There really is
one. I loved my talk show and I love my podcast today because I can reach so many people. And I can pull stories out of people because I'm a journalist. So if I can take some subject matter and make it make sense to you and motivate you, that's what I'm excited about. So I think it's the talk show genre that's really exciting for me. I think that's been the most powerful platform for me.
And that voice, when I talked to her, I was like, that voice. Oh my God.
You have a great voice.
Thank you. Thank you.
Powerful
Thank you.
voice.
Maybe I'll keep that voiceover career too.
Yeah, you should.
But you know what? I believe that God gives us all many gifts, and it's
Yes,
our gift back
exactly.
to God how we use them.
Oh, I like
So
that.
it's a lot of my faith that keeps me busy too.
Okay, who has been your most favorite amongst the ones that you interviewed?
Oh gosh, I've had so many different kind of interviews. Like when I did my talk show,
Yeah.
we did a live show in a women's prison, and we talked with. We reunited mothers and their children. That was very significant for me. I've interviewed tons of people, from Gorbachev to Bill Cosby to Jane
I
Fonda, and I
know.
just interviewed Carol Burnett, which was a big
wow.
takeaway.
What?
Yes, for
Oh
my
my
podcast.
gosh.
I've got this podcast, Rolonda on Demand.
Yeah. Hey, can you tell them what is
Yeah,
that?
Rolonda on Demand. I'm on iTunes. I'm on Stitcher. I'm on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
I just launched it, but I got a real validation when Carol Burnett agreed to do my show. So
Oh my
that just went
gosh.
up today.
Are you
So check it out.
kidding? Oh my gosh, that's amazing. So Andrea here.
Hello.
She's an upcoming comedian, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about yourself and what are the things that you want to find out? Ask from Rolanda.
Huh.
She's already here. She's your best advisor.
Oh, well, a little bit about me. I perform probably like 2 to 3 times a week. I hit the mics as much as I can. I host this show every Monday night at the Dime, if any of you guys want to go. It's on
Okay.
Fairfax.
I'll be there.
Just, I really, because you were asking her, like, what's your favorite thing to do?
Okay.
And I was asking myself that like, a few days ago, and I just really love making people laugh, like, in any way possible, like, just...
She's funny.
Well, you know something, there really is a magic to it.
Yeah.
There is nothing like the feeling of hitting that stage and just
Yeah.
saying something or doing something and getting a whole group of people to feel better.
Yeah.
And to laugh, because it really is medicine. And when I talked to Carol Burnett, she was saying the same thing.
Yeah.
That there's something just indelibly delicious about living a life that makes people laugh. And a lot of people take that like, but
Yeah.
comedy is the hardest form of theater.
No, I'm not kidding. It's
hard. Really hard.
And the
Yeah.
grind
Yeah.
is also hard.
The grind
Yeah.
is hard.
I
Yeah.
actually have a question for you. What
Okay.
when you were doing stand-up, what was your favorite thing to talk about? Like, what was your style?
Well, you know what? When I first started stand up, I talk about things that piss me off.
Yeah.
I mean, and I tell the truth about it, like menopause.
Men.
Yeah. Men on pause is what menopause is. And dating. If you want to feel like a 10-legged dog, try dating after 50 online.
Oh.
I mean, it's just
wait,
crazy.
I want to talk to you about that. Okay,
Right.
okay. I want to talk to you about it.
But the things that just drive me nuts that I have to tell the horrid truth about, if I can turn it into laughter, it makes it easier for me, and I think it makes it easier on the audience who's going through a lot of the same things.
Oh yeah, for
God.
sure.
Wait, I wanna. Okay, so I read Destiny Lingers.
Yeah.
What happened to that hostage thing? That story. That is the one that gave you that break, right?
Yeah,
That story.
Right. Well, something in Destiny Lingers, my romance suspense novel, which is a creative nonfiction. It's basically you can take real stories and then
Yes.
elaborate them.
Yes.
I really did help negotiate a hostage situation when I was a news reporter in New York. And had it ended the way I wrote it in this novel, girl, I'd be sitting up here with 10 Emmys in front of us. But yeah, there were a lot of stories like that helped me make my break doing
Yes.
live television. Got nominated for Emmys for live coverage of train crashes and murders and mayhem and all of
Yeah.
that stuff. But I took my life experiences and put them into a character, and used a lot of life stories for my character Destiny to follow.
I know. I really love it. I'm like drawn, and my daughter was like, "Mom, what is that you're reading? It's Rolanda's story."
Have you gotten to the great sex scenes yet?
Oh
Ooh.
yeah.
I want to read this.
I feel like I wanted to have sex with my husband after
Right.
that.
I mean, she doesn't just
I was
work
like,
all the
What
time.
is that elbow and that thing? Do you
That's
read that?
No, but she knows that. But that's
You know that?
no. There's some things in the story that are elaborate and some things that are true. One of the ways I caught my husband having an affair
Yeah.
with my best friend
Yeah.
was
Wait, so that is true.
that part's true.
Oh shit.
Your best friend?
Best friend.
That's terrible.
Horrible.
Wait, why is this happening? We have to talk about this next time. Most of the time, husbands have an affair with a friend.
Because they're lazy. They don't even want to go out on the prowl anymore. Just bring her home. Bring the meat home. Throw it on the
Yeah,
plate.
they already know her,
Yeah, oh, shit. Right? What the heck? Okay, we have to talk about that. But other than that, so Andrea, I want you to ask her about the whole dating thing. She's talking about the whole
Gosh.
because your age, I mean, and her age right now, it's just really like this whole millennial stage of dating. It's just, I don't know.
The only thing is when she walks on stage and she goes, I'm having trouble online dating, people go, oh, okay. If I even say online dating, they crack up laughing.
No, but she's having a hard time finding.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
She's having a hard time finding, like a real, like a guy.
Yeah.
Would actually want to be in a relationship, right?
Yeah.
Not only a lot of
Oh my
these
gosh.
women who are now at age 30 or even 35 are just like,
And the really beautiful ones, like
Yeah.
and smart
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
good. I mean, I'm just
Yeah.
like, how are you single?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's because y'all need to get out of cyberspace and meet people on Earth.
Yeah.
I know that sounds crazy, but I think social media connects us, but I think it also separates us a lot.
totally.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't use
Yeah.
apps.
I
I don't.
Yeah, well, I will admit I've used a few, but
Wait.
but clearly they aren't working either. But girl, they got something for everything. That's what I do appreciate about this online dating. I don't like a lot about it because it's not my age group. I'm in my 50s. So we didn't do that. We met you in person. We'd go to the bar and accidentally bump into you on purpose and meet you that way.
That sounds awesome, though.
Look, girl, it took me 2 weeks to find out what real romance ready for romance man 24/7, whatever his name was. It took me 22 weeks to find out what his real name was. But I also wonder if all the cyberspace and all the cyber and texting has made us not have the social skills we need when we walk into a room and see
Yeah.
somebody we're really
yeah.
interested in.
Which apps? I mean,
What apps am I using? Well, first of all, let me tell you this. This is the thing I like about cyber dating. At least there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
Did you know that there's cyber dating sites for gluten-free people?
Whoa, really?
What?
Yes, this is all true. Look it up. I looked it up online.
I want to check that.
There's AmishPeopleDating.com.
I would definitely not go on that.
Vegetarian.com.
Vegandating.com. Allergy
You
dating.
have to go there.
Allergies.
She's vegan.
Yeah, but I don't mind if the guy eats meat.
Well,
I don't mind if a guy eats me.
Every guy eats.
Ain't
He
I
better
meat?
eat meat.
What am I, chopped liver? Ain't that meat?
Or fish, yeah.
So bad. But they've got clown dating. They got blackpeoplemeet.com.
What? Really?
Yeah, I say they should have subcategories to that category, though. Because
Oh
just
my
to say blackpeoplemeet.com, y'all know there's a whole bunch of different kind of black people. I think they ought to have some subcategories, something like black people with careers meet.com.
Wait, but are you very selective? Are you, do you have this, specific? Because it's hard when you came from, if you came from a divorce, it's just like you have a specific guy that you want to be with after that whole thing, because of the pain that you've been through, right?
Yeah.
Or
And
you just.
I don't know. I think that's part of my issue, that I don't have like a vision board or something.
Yeah.
Because the good, like I was saying, the good news is that while the dating services have specifics for us, the universe is asking that too. Be specific. What is it that you want? I believe that I've done so much for. If I could make the list of things I wanted in careers and make it happen, why can't we? I mean, it's kind of like clinical, but you really do have to kind of put it out there so you know what to attract.
So,
Yeah.
so what is it that you want? So Andrea would have
gosh.
what is it that you want? What kind of, let's write it right now.
Get our list.
Yeah.
You know what I have started doing though?
Yeah.
If I go out with somebody, it may not be the end all do all date, but I will go home and write down the things I really, really liked about that person.
That's a good idea.
Because it's hard for me to just sit here and go like, this is what I want. I want him cute. I want him rich. I want, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's better than I come from an experience and go, wow, what I really liked about that person was that they were kind, that they were very generous
that's
with
a
their
very good
time.
idea.
Yeah, that's a good
that
idea.
they were respectful to me and my opinions and my very existence these days as a woman. You know, so there are things I check off my list based upon experience. So that means I just have to keep using those apps.
Oh.
Yeah, hey, you know, whatever works.
So we have a tweet here. How did you both get started with comedy?
You want to go first?
No,
Me?
go.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Well, I was just chilling.
That's how it happens.
And I think I was like at a coffee shop, and this guy comes up to me who's a comic, and he was doing a bringer show. I'm sure you're familiar with that. This is like back in 2013. And he's like, hey, we're looking for like pretty girls to try comedy. Do you want to do it? And I was like, why not? Right?
Yeah.
He's like, you have to bring, because you know when you first start, you have to do bringer shows where you bring friends,
Right.
and they're horrible. They're horrible. And so I brought friends, and I didn't even have any material. I just told a crazy dating story about. I don't know if I should talk about it on here.
Yeah.
Well, basically, I got mad at this guy because he wouldn't have sex with me on my birthday. I was dating him, and then he's like, "I'm so sorry. I'll make it up to you. I have a surprise for you. Can I bring it tonight?" And I was like, "Sure." So he comes over, and it's in a brown plastic bag, and then he's like, "Okay, well, this is for the bedroom." Okay, so we're having sex. I'm in doggy style, and he's like, "Are you ready? Are you ready for your surprise?" And I was like, "Sure." And he pulls out these like 2 huge cucumbers.
What?
And I was like,
Not one, but 2.
I know, but 2, and they're huge. And I was like, wait, are you like are you making me a salad? Like, what are you doing? And then he's
Wait,
like,
and this is while you're having sex?
yeah, this is like during,
Oh,
and he wanted
okay.
to use them on me,
Yeah.
all right? And so anyway, so I told that story on stage. I had jokes in the story and everything. And yeah, it did really well. And since then, I've been, doing stand-up.
And using cucumbers.
No, definitely not.
Cucumber.
The farmer's market, I asked him.
The farmer's
Yeah, the farmer's
market.
market.
Organic.
Oh my
Organic, yeah.
God.
He's like, they're organic, just like you like them.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Now she got, hey, I remember that story you told me.
I'm not sure which one, but all I know
That is
is that
really
we
funny,
still have sex. It just hurts.
Oh no.
But they've got things for that.
I remember that story you told me.
Which one? I'm not may or may not validate it on air.
I told you, use that for your, when you do your comedy.
Oh
Remember?
God. We're talking about having sex during menopause.
Oh, whoa.
You know, it's hard to have sex with the menopausal belly. It's really hard,
Oh,
Yeah, you remember those days? You're very flexible. Now, imagine doing those positions. What you call it? Doggy style. Imagine doing that with wearing a what do they call it? An inner tube.
Oh my God.
What?
Think of all the positions you're doing, young girl, and wrapping and what do they call them? Uber tube, inner tube.
I'm gonna have to Google this.
You know that big thing you wear when you go swimming? That's what your belly's gonna feel like when you turn menopausal.
Oh my
Imagine
God.
flipping your legs up in the air doing that, little girl.
And you're like, I can't breathe. Because
You know, you get that position, you get those scissor legs up. Boom. And it's like, come on, daddy. Come on, daddy. Legs like this. Come on. Come on. You're 20. Come on, do it. Harder. Honey, when you're this age, I can't breathe.
Oh my God. Oh, whoa.
and the thing is, you can't tell the guy, wait, stop.
It's It's called the menopausal belly.
Wow.
Girl, it's gonna come to haunt you. You better watch them French fries.
Oh
Well, hey, you guys, you women, you're watching a live comedy sketch.
no. Oh my God.
Here. Oh my God. Okay,
Oh.
but I'm reminding you guys, please tweet your questions if you have any questions
There's
for
no
her.
telling.
Oh my gosh.
Like Rolanda actually told you her private,
You know, it's all jokes.
Yeah.
But I tell you what,
Yeah.
though. You asked how we started in the
Yes.
business.
Yeah,
And
how did you start?
I started because, well, first of all, Kim Coles is a dear friend of mine. And
Oh,
I was a
yeah.
bridesmaid in her wedding. And she said to me, you have always wanted to do stand-up comedy. You've told me that. For my wedding gift, I'm
Yeah.
doing a bridesmaids party at a comedy club, and I want you to get up there. And I'm
Fun.
like, Kim, there's no way I'm getting up there with your real comedian friends.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I know you got 5 minutes of funny, and you just tell something true.
Yeah.
And I was like, Okay, and I had just started experiencing menopause, and I had gone to a meeting where I busted in a sweat so bad that when I got up, there was a wet spot in the sofa, and I said, "This is fucking." Excuse me, I don't know if you can say it. This is fucked up. And I was so, and she said, "Talk about anything." So I went up there and I talked about menopause, and I talked about sweating and how sex hurts, and my stomach is getting big, and my hair's fucking falling out. And now they want me to online date? I'm like, really? And so I talked about the truth. And 17 minutes later, the whole club was on the floor. And I was like, you found that funny, how pissed off I am that my body is fucked up right now? So I said, well, there must be something to this. And so that started my comedy career.
So what's your advice?
Good luck, little girl.
Stay flexible.
Stay flexible. And breathe. There's a whole new meaning.
No, because how many years have you been doing this?
Stand up like 3.
3 years.
Yeah.
But before that, you tried acting as well, right?
Yeah, I still do that.
You still do it? I mean, do you think it's really a tough, job?
Acting, yeah, because you don't really have control about anything. I like comedy because you have control. Because you can kind of like brand yourself. Whereas acting, it's like if you don't fit whatever they're looking for, or if you're too tall or whatever, it's like you won't get the role.
Or
like,
Rolonda, how do you get the break, like a good break from this, like a big break from this? What is like the,
I think,
secret?
you know what, I think the real secret is in anything that you do, doing the work.
yeah.
It's like we call it in the comedy industry, going to the gym. It's working out those muscles. If you see a comedian on stage, chances are they've been 20 times to a little hole in the wall you didn't even know about. Just working out material, working out their timing, making sure it's funny. You got to get out there and be seen in the scene. And you got to be around people who say, hey, guess what? They're doing a show next week. They got an audition next week. Why don't you come on by? It's building a community like everything else that we're doing in every other arena. As we see on social media, we do that. And look, I'm trying to hang out with the young folks because old folks don't join this unless they're crazy.
Rolonda, I have this last question for you before. I read this in your book, okay? Mm-hmm. There was a phrase there that says, I think it was in the first chapter, and when you were like trying to save this, this little boy, and you were in the midst of finding out that your husband is having an affair with your best friend. But then again, you said this, forget the story of my life now. Again, my life will have to wait. Thank God for my career. If you were given a chance to go back to your past, are you going to say the same thing?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
No. Well, you know what? This is a changing time in my life because all of my life, I've been the career girl. I didn't want the babies. I didn't want marriages. I think getting married at 22 is more like running away from home than actually getting married. Yes. But I'm going through a different phase in my life. Now, I would love a life partner for the rest of my life. I've just practiced too long not to have one. So I've got to turn myself inside out.
You will find him.
Got some free advice?
You will find him. Read date like a girl. Like
Hashtag buy my book.
Yeah, buy her
Date like a girl, marry like a woman.
Yeah, and hey, Andrea, we're going to call you in 3 months or 4 months, and we will see what is happening to your career, and I hope you've learned something from...
Of course.
And let's hang out together. Let's go do some open mic and go to each other's shows.
Together.
Give each other tags.
I know. You can hashtag, or as we used to say, pound me.
What is your social media, you guys? So they can follow you?
Absolutely. I'm at Rolonda Watts, and that's ROLONDA, at Rolonda Watts, and I have a wonderful podcast. Speaking of comedy, I just interviewed Carol Burnett on Rolonda On Demand, and you can get that on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, ROLONDA.
How about you, Andrea?
And I'm on social media at Andrea Carlisle 1. That's ANDREACARLISLE, number 1.
Okay, so my advice for today, being in the spotlight can be harder than you expected. Follow your dreams, but also make sure that you have things in your life that will keep you focused and grounded. Tip of the day, it's easy to get caught up in many different fields in the industry. Stay true to yourself and your core passions and let your talents unfold. naturally. Tap into who you are, be authentic. I've always loved this in the Bible. I've read this. Let us run with endurance that is set for us. Career is like a race. What's more important is how you began, but it's not how you began with it, but it's how you finish. God gave us all unique and individual talents. Find that and use it. You think if you think just like me, if I talk straight in English, do you think I'll be here? I don't think people will love me. They love me because I'm like this. So find that talent, find that special, talent that God gave you.
And we do love you. Thank you.
Oh, we love you.
Cheers, guys!
Cheers.
Thank you.
Okay, guess I'm drinking. Guess I'm drinking.
You're listening to Polished Woman, only on LA Talk Radio.
That-